7 marketing principles that I should have known before starting marketing on Amazon. Hi guys, this is Basil. I work with 8-figure Amazon brands and resellers, scaling them with marketing, with better supply chain, with better inventory management. And this video is specifically going to be about a few important marketing tips that I should have known before jumping straight into it. So let's get started. So let me tell you, this is coming from someone who is an industrial engineer. So I think a lot about data. I think a lot about systems, and that is what I've been doing for the past few years, right? But you have to understand that if you're trying to do marketing in general, a lot of marketing principles, and this is something that a very beginner should know as well. But how do they implement to Amazon is very important, and this is a training session that I record for my PPC managers at the very start of their journey, and that's why I'm jumping straight into it. So yeah, first of all, what Amazon is, right? Amazon is discovery via keywords, is discovery via search terms, and actually someone's searching a specific product. Let's say you're searching apparel for women, and then these specific uh, their queries are being answered with product suggestions coming in. We earlier discussed in the last video about in case for a different ad types, etc. But nevertheless, you have to understand that overall in Amazon, most of the marketing or most of the customers are acquired via putting your advertisement on different search terms which people are searching, and you get data on with regards to how many people are searching what exact search terms and what competition do you have on those exact search terms as well. So yeah, uh, now when it comes to marketing, all we have to do, because we understand that okay, people are searching a specific search query, and that's how they're getting suggestions with regards to products as well. That makes it pretty easier that you have to place yourself in front of those search queries that are being searched, and that's exactly how you end up getting bought by and being discovered by your potential customers as well. Now there are multiple ways that we can push ourselves in front of our potential customers. That is something that we'll discuss later on, that what are sponsored brand ads, what are sponsored product ads. But overall you should get the idea that your job is to get placed in front of the right eyeballs. You might have the best product in the world, you might have good reviews as well, but because you're not placing yourself at the very right spots, you might not be getting any discoveries, or you might not be getting any traffic coming onto your listing as well. So these are the 4 P's of marketing, and this is how your decision, how your marketing strategy aligns as well. Now, number one is of course product. I'll say this again and again, and this is especially true for marketplace, because I see that a lot of, maybe in 2018, a lot of drop shipping products, a lot of gimmicky products used to sell quite well at some small period of time on Shopify as well, or with Facebook ads, etc. Because they used to have these wonderful marketing techniques. They used to sell, and then the trend used to go away. But on marketplace, it honestly does not behave the same way. The most important thing that there could be is, what product are you selling? Is it actually selling? Is it actually solving a customer's pain points? Are you actually bringing in those benefits and pain points or features which are helping your customers with regards to the pain points that they're facing? If not, you should actually work on finding the right product market fit. So before you jump into pouring in thousands of dollars in terms of ad spend, you have to analyze that what product are you selling, and is it actually solving a customer's problem. And I'll say a very good general rule of thumb is that, first of all, finding out how many people are searching for your product. Is the keyword depth, is the demand depth with regards to the product that you are looking forward to list on Amazon. And number second, is your product different than your competitors? So for example, if you go ahead and you read your competitor reviews, and your product is actually solving those problems, or if they're continuously talking good about something, your product is actually solving that. Your product actually is the answer to a lot of negative reviews, or exactly has those features which are featured in a lot of positive reviews of your competitors. That's how okay, this is the product that will actually sell. Now number second is price. Now because this is a marketplace, so marketplace, quite honestly, if I break it into the simplest of terms, it's actually a bazaar, right? It's actually you being somewhere where you do not even have to go to the next shop. All of the things are laid straight away in front of you, and you may be competing in terms of pricing straight away. So until and unless you've got a product that has got a very defining feature that differentiates you from your competitors, you are going to compete with price. So it's a commoditized market, especially with products where you are just white labeling and putting your logo after sourcing it from China. It's if your product is that simple, let's say garlic press, you don't have much differentiating points, and I will search and I will tell you this as well, that where does price matter. And so let's say this is your product and this is your competitor's product. Now keeping aside all of these reviews, ratings, end of the day, if someone's actually marketing their product, a lot of it depends on their pricing as well. I won't include Zule Kitchen because it's a big brand, but let me pull in, all right, this specific brand and this specific brand. I think the product looks much similar. Maybe they've got a few extra equipment as well, but a lot of this game depends on pricing as well. So you need to decide your pricing strategy, keeping in mind your competitors, their performances, and that's how you start gaining traction as well. Now, number third, and this is once again a general rule of marketing, is where they are placed. I'll give you an example that when you enter a shopping mall, you actually just by default you start noticing what's placed on your left hand side. So if you enter a shopping mall and on your left hand side, those brands you will see generally are the most expensive brands, or those shops or those real estate is actually the most expensive. Now you might be paying a premium to get placed in front of the most amount of eyeballs, and that's how you will be getting the most amount of traffic. But might be possible that because you're just starting off, you want to place yourself where the footfall is much lower, but it's not that much expensive as well. Not everyone wants to open their shop in Manhattan, right? Not everyone wants to open their shop in Dubai Mall at the very front spot, because that's financially not viable. Maybe you want to open at the far end. Maybe you want to open in another state. So you're getting me, right? It's much similar to how it works on Amazon as well. Now, of course, your customers will still be able to discover you. The good thing about e-commerce, or the good thing about marketplace, is that the capex cost is extremely low. So maybe you are searching up garlic press, uh, and right now you do not want to place yourself on in garlic press because a lot of people are searching it. There's huge amount of competition. So you place yourself, just for an example, under garlic press stainless steel, which is a much lesser competitive keyword. But after some point of time, you've earned enough money, and this is just a situation where then you put yourself, or you push yourself on garlic press. So it won't take more than a day just to start running a campaign to push yourself over here as well. It will take definitely a lot more than a huge amount of time to actually organically rank yourself up there. But just to open yourself to another keyword, a very broad keyword, a very competitive keyword, it won't take a huge amount of time. But you will be placed in front of a lot more customers, right? So you need to understand that wherever you are placing your product, that's exactly how many eyeballs you are getting. And the starting, you want to place yourself in front of people who have got the intention of buying it. You do not want to place yourself in front of lots of window shoppers. That depends on your own marketing strategy, that depends on your budget, but nevertheless, that's a general rule of thumb, that first of all, people try to establish themselves on keywords which are not super competitive, and from there they try to work their way around those keywords which are a lot broader keywords as well. And the number fourth is promotion. Now everything, all of these, your good product, your good price, your good placement, all of these are good enough, but then of course promotion comes into play as well. If I just go ahead and open on Amazon, you can just see this guy's running a limited time deal, this guy's running a coupon, someone's actually this guy's also running a coupon, right? So it's continuously different promotions that are incentivizing these potential customers to purchase from their brand. So end of the day, you want to know that where do you need to put promotions, where do you need to put lightning deals, etc., in order to convince those customers to buy your product. So at some point of time, it's just the very end spot where with the promotion you just completely make up your customer's mind to go ahead and just click on that buy now magic button. But so these are the general four rules of marketing. But going down, this is one another very important thing. So for example, for instance, I'm selling kids sunscreen, right? I'm selling kids sunscreen, or maybe I'm selling a water bottle, and my water bottle is not an insulated water bottle. So I'm just selling a random Stanley, not even, it's not random, but nevertheless, I'm just selling a water bottle that is not insulated, right? So let me show you what water bottle might I have. This is my water bottle, right? Aquafit is me. But if I push myself on insulated water bottle keywords, so if I just search up insulated water bottle and I start appearing over these search terms as well, I am like being irrelevant where so I'm being present where I should not be. So although placement is important, as I discussed earlier, just a slide earlier, that the four rules of marketing placement is also plays a very important role. But if I'm getting placed on the very wrong spots, quite honestly, it doesn't make sense, and it's going to quite honestly maybe like backfire me as well. So I need to ensure that I understand I understand my ideal customer persona, I understand my ICP, and then I'm trying to figure out keywords where my ICP actually hangs out, and then I'm trying to push myself only over there initially. So it's very important that you understand what's your market segment, what's your target as well, what's your target audience, and your target audience is actually searching that specific keyword which your product is the most relevant on. So let's say if you're not insulated water bottle, if you are a gym water bottle or a gym water shake or a gym shaker, right? Then you need to get place yourself over here. So let's say I'm Aquafit, I need to get placed myself over here rather than an insulated water bottle, or rather than or else we might have some other suggestions with water bottle as well. So let's say water bottle with straw. If I'm not with straw, I do not need to push myself over there. Aquafit does not need to be on there. But when it comes to gym water bottle, definitely the ideal market that Aquafit is selling to. So that's why you need to be over there. So it's very important that you are understanding that just selling a water bottle doesn't mean that you want to appear everywhere on the market. You have to be very strategic with regards to where you're appearing as well, or you'll just keep on bleeding your budget. Now, another very important thing is your positioning, how you're trying to position your brand, right? Now, and I will give a very good example for this because I've actually scaled a brand that was known as Cutlings, where we sold this brand to an aggregator for $250,000. This was back in 2023, and right now they're being sold by an aggregator, not doing too good, honestly. This is the 30-day lowest price, but we were actually selling at a much higher price point. If I take it as an air, we were selling it at in $30, $35, whatever. So this product, it looks like a knife product, right? It's a chef knife product, but quite honestly, I will tell you it's not. You only have to push it on keywords which are related to gifting. So it could be gifts for dad, it could be gifts for mom, for the mom keyword, it could be gifts for husband keyword, but it should never try to push itself on uh, knives, because knives is a very competitive keyword in a very commoditized market. So right now the wrong game that this brand is playing, because I have worked with this brand and I have scaled this brand before it got sold, that they're bidding on the very wrong options. They need to push themselves on gifting keywords, right? So that is your positioning. You need to know that where you should position yourself. And moreover, so for example, if it's gym water bottle, and end of the day I have got my images where someone is using it for school, so that doesn't make sense because I'm targeting my ICP is someone who's going to gym, and someone who is doing workout, someone who wants to say, let's say, hydrated because they're working out. So I want to position myself, and then we have got this that they've got a time, different times, uh, and then they've got 3.5 liter water bottle. So that's exactly how much water do you need in a day. So you need to position yourself around the Aquafit. They need to add something about their listing with regards to that this is being bought by a gym person. So this is where they're telling it that it's someone can drink it in the gym, someone who is athletic can drink it, someone who's into sports, someone who's into outdoor activities. This is for them, and that's exactly what the brand says as well, right? So you need to understand your target market, and then you need to understand your brand positioning, and then you need to place yourself over there. There's another very important thing that and I think that this is a bit misunderstood at times as well. Now, this is not a principle that I've introduced. It's a principle introduced since 1898. So we are just 130 years or 128 years, whatever, late over here. But your product, it's actually bought from a funnel. The first funnel is the top of the funnel where you're creating your brand awareness, and then there's an interest, then there's a design, and then there's an action. And I will give you a very simple example on Amazon over here, because at times on marketplace, I personally think you do not need to run brand awareness campaigns. Maybe in the very start, maybe just run exact match campaigns that, in this funnel might be interest based campaigns or desire based campaigns, and that's exactly how I can get bought as well. Doesn't mean that I'm going to decline this marketing principle which was written by the marketing gurus. I'm not saying at all do not cancel me yet, but I'm just saying that Amazon, it behaves a bit differently. Now, this is your impression coming in. This is if someone's searching. Quite honestly, for me, it's the first part of the funnel, attention, and your title is actually your title, your image. This is actually grabbing their attention. You open this link and you have a look at their bullet points. You have a look at their different images. You have a look at their A plus content, and that's exactly what's creating the desire, and that's exactly what leads to the last part of the funnel where you're actually going ahead and buying this product as well. So for me, just traveling from simple search query to going to the detail page in itself and then purchasing that product, that's the whole marketing funnel getting completed as well. So now let's jump to house retail model. Now there's something that I read when I was just learning marketing. Quite honestly, I was not sure how I need to apply this to my Amazon brands that I manage as well. I'll tell you. So what Huff's retail marketing model actually says is that if if there's a 7-Eleven or if there's a Walmart extremely near you, right? And so someone wants to buy something. Walmart is just 200 meters from them, and another store which is, let's say, very fancy, a very discounted store, let's say 10 kilometers away from them. It depends that, for example, if there are two different Walmarts, let me just re-clear it. If there are two different Walmarts, one is placed near them, one is placed far away from them, automatically they're just going to the closest Walmart, right? But if there's a Walmart which is extremely big, so it's a 1 acre Walmart that is near them, but it's a 10 acres Walmart with a huge amount of discounts, a huge amount of different products placed 10 kilometers away from them. Now the purchase decision, it could be this, but it could be that as well, based on the product that they are buying to. So that honestly shows that shoppers pick the store that is number one, attractive and close, until and unless you're creating something that is out of the box there. But having said that, if there's a very beautiful shopping mall open near your place, and another shopping mall is very far away from you, same beauty, of course you're just going to go to your shopping mall that is near you, until unless you do not want to hang out with people who already know you. But that's not the case on Amazon, right? So anywhere, if you're searching water bottle, these are the shopping malls, or these are the stores, or these are the shops, or these are the brands that are the nearest to you. So you're most likely to click on them, unless you're a finicky customer like me and you want to scroll to the bottom because you read a lot about features and benefits, and then you have to get the best value for money. So until and unless you are like me, which is a very small proportion of people, you will actually go ahead and buy it from there. No one has got as much time as me. And because I've been working on Amazon, that's why I try to dive as much deep as possible. But having said that, generally people will just try to buy over there. So the more close you are to someone, in terms of, I'll say that in Amazon landscape, if you are the closest to someone, where there's just searching in it and you're appearing on the top of it or you're appearing on second line of it, because the most amount of heat maps of clicks and purchases are actually on the top of, on like the first 50% of it. I'll say if 70-80% of traffic is going here, only like 10-20-30% of traffic is coming for all the bottom listings. So it's very important that you understand that whichever search terms you are ranking on, you're trying to be on top of it. And maybe it doesn't make sense financially, sorry, it doesn't make sense financially, so that is something that we'll take a deeper dive down later. But you generally get the idea that the more closer you are to your potential customer, the more likely they are to do a purchase, right? Let's open just one single product, and so these guys are also like close to them, right? If this guy's selling at 19.9, they're running a asint targeting ad on them. It's a very similar product, maybe, I don't know, but they're selling at a much lower cost as well. So a few things that you might have, and you do not need to put in formulas over here. I'm just telling you that your attractiveness matters a lot. How many reviews do you have? What titles do you have? So this one has got 14,000 reviews. Of course, if anyone has got, let's say, what if it's the same water bottle, but if someone has got just 179 reviews, there's no way, absolutely no way, that this guy can have more sales than Aqua. No, he might have just 50 plus. This guy's selling 3,000 plus because he's got a big social proof as compared to this guy. So that is what reviews and rating count come to. Then another point of attractiveness for a customer is how the main image is being portrayed, how other images are also being portrayed. So this main image and this main image, of course there's a difference. Even with how the product looks, there's a difference. It could be subjective, because beauty lies in the eyes of beholder. But nevertheless, there's a significant difference over here. And then you've got price as well. So the lower the price is, the more attractive it is. But in here, if I just implement the hubs model of retail, the price difference that this is offering against the benefits that it's offering in terms of main image or in terms of ratings and reviews, that's exactly why not more people are getting inclined towards it, and more people are still inclined towards it. And then you've got position on the results page. Aquafit is like genuinely on the top, right? I don't think this other brand, whatever the name is, QD, Suzy. I think it's a Chinese brand, quite honestly. But I don't think it's appearing anywhere near here. Aquafit is like ruling this subcategory, maybe. Organically, they're on the top. So the more near you are to your customer, the more likely it's going to get placed as well. And then, of course, delivery there in stock. Now, if this guy has got Prime delivery on, and it's just going to come and so get free delivery today, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., order within 1 hour. Quite honestly, it's the best thing that you can do, right? This is for this guy, and this is, I think, probably for Aquafit as well. For Aquafit, they both are Prime eligible. Free delivery Tuesday, September 1 on orders shipped by Amazon over 35. Prime members get free delivery, so it's actually the same. So, in a way, when I'm implementing Hub's model of retail, Aquafit has got better rating and review count. They've got a better main image. Their position on the results page is much higher. They are competing with delivery day in stock. It's quite honestly, it's much similar. But when it comes to other than pricing, which where there's not a huge amount of difference, everything else comes same. So that's a very important part of one marketing principle. Now this is something that I've implemented again and again and again. Now I've worked with brands, I've worked with jewelry stores that have got catalog up to 8,000 products as well. I'm working with a gym brand that has got more than 200 products as well. Now, when you've got such a huge catalog, because these companies, they're not Toyota, they're not IBM, so they don't have very laid out data points that it's extremely easy to figure out that which exact product should I push or which exact product is not my winner. So at times you need to run those data analysis for yourself. So you need to figure out that what are my best products, which I need to focus on right now, and which are my products that I might not need to focus on right now, but there's something that might come on later on. So that is known as BCG metrics. Your product catalog can actually be divided into four different quadrants as well. Your star products are the ones where you've got the highest share and high growth potential as well. So the market in itself is huge. It's a growing market, and then your profit. I'll say it very simply: your profitability potential or your profitability is huge as well, and then the market is growing as well. With question marks, it's a product that is just being launched. You don't know where it will fall. Uh, it might go on the positive direction. It might be a winner for your brand. It might be a star for your brand, or it might be a bad performing product for your brand as well. So for the bad performing products, they're actually known as dog products. No offense to dogs, but I'm a cat person. But nevertheless, with dogs, it's more about that the market's growth is actually going lower as well. And let me give you an example for this, because I think I've got a few. Uh, let's say someone actually has a newspaper brand, right? They're actually, or a printing company. Now printing company in itself, if it's going on a decline, I'm not sure how printing companies are performing, by the way. But nevertheless, just taking general idea that because things are going off paper, things are getting online more and more, maybe the printing companies are on a decline, hopefully. Not hopefully, but they're like on a decline. So that is your dog brand, as compared to if you've got a if you've got a janitorial cleaning service, or you've got a B2B sales company, because more businesses are getting open, a B2B digital sales company, right? Then it's a star product because you're positioned at the very right spot. Or maybe it's an AI automation agency, whatever. Then you're a star product. On Amazon rules, you're getting into a market, you're getting into a sustainable shampoo market, and it's growing year over year as well. That's actually a star product. Your question mark is SKUs in them that you are just launching, so you don't know where they are going to fall. Maybe they're the star products, maybe they're the dog products. The cash cows are actually the cash cows. I will say they are your that's quite honestly, that's like your boring businesses, right? They give you good cash. They're like your, what can I say? They're your S&P 500 index. You're getting a decent growth out of them. They're not growing extremely fast. They will not grow extremely fast, but they're the ones which are where you can use that cash to uh, benefit your other products. So you put more on your star products. Your star products are actually a startup which has got huge upside. Now they don't have the downside that they will just crash or they will fall below. It's actually established startup. They've already proven themselves, and they're at an inclining pattern. So it's just like ChatGPT or Nvidia in 2019. Yeah, hope that makes sense. So that is about BCG metrics. If you've got a huge catalog, it's very important to understand, because at times brands have got huge catalogs of Amazon, and they're asking me that which products should I launch all of my products all at once, and I'm telling them that quite honestly, it depends on your marketing budget. If you want to spend all of it, I would never suggest to launch all of your products. Rather, implement BCG metrics and figure out that what are your star products, what are your best sellers, and try to launch them first, and your cash cows as well. And do not focus a lot on your question marks and dog products as well. And in case you're trying to figure out, I'll give you a very general rule of thumb: see your gross margins, and then see the market share, the total market size as well, and your keyword depth, your market depth. Is it easy to launch there, or is it more difficult to launch there? I would say a lot of dog products, let's say garlic press for me right now is a dog product. Although it's a growing market, there are brands doing millions and millions of dollars. For me, if I'm launching a new product with a very limited marketing budget, it's going to be a dog product, quite honestly, for me, because market has stabilized in itself. Its garlic press market is not growing by a huge fold, and so your market share, you cannot dominate that market share very easily from top competitors. And then it's going to take a huge amount of time to get those reviews, to get everything else to rank yourself as a garlic press at the very top keywords. So now coming to Pareto and unit economics. So when it comes to Pareto rule, this is something that we learned in industrial engineering. So it's very important for uh, for the trainee students, and for if anyone else is listening as well, that your the brand that you're managing on Amazon, or the account that you're working right now on Amazon, will have lots and lots of moving parts. So you might have bad placements, you might have bad campaigns, you might have a few search terms that you're not able to figure out, you might have a few long-term storage fees. So many problems might be there. You cannot solve all of them all at once. Your CTR might be going a bit below, your CVR might be going a bit below. I will never say that you should pick a day and you should solve all of them all at once. It cannot happen. I've worked with so many brands, especially if they've got a huge catalog, you cannot solve all the brands' problems all at once. And because as an agency, when we are not a company with hundreds of employees, right? And I'm going to be very transparent over here. I cannot solve all the problems of a brand all at once. But what I can do in order to ensure that the brand is actually growing towards a positive trajectory, or they're on an inclination path, is I want to focus on the 80%. I want to focus on the 20% that is deriving 80% of results. So for example, if my conversion rate has fallen down, and if my top of search placements are doing bad, if my inventory is doing bad, what do I focus on right now? My rank, maybe my CTR, my click through rate is falling a bit down. It's just 5 to 10% down, but my stock out is going to happen like just the very next moment. I'd rather just solve my stock out problems first, rather than focusing on something that might not cause a huge amount of difference, right? And so focus on the 20, uh, focus on the 20% that is deriving 80% of the results. And then your second most important point is your break even ACOS. Now a lot of times people are making changes to their bids based on Amazon suggestions, which is all okay, because Amazon's data tells you that what bids do you need to push on that specific keyword in order to get placed in front of those eyeballs. But if you haven't calculated your break-even ACOS, if you do not know how much margins do you have, and you just straight away work on Amazon suggestions. So let's say your conversion rate is 50%, 50%, right? And your CPC is $10, and your gross margin is $5 or whatever. So let's say your conversion rate is 50%, your cost per click is $10, so it takes $20 to get a sale. But if you just spend $5, you become break even. And at $20 of sales, it's like minus $15, and you're going negative $15. Does it make sense to actually push yourself on that keyword? Quite honestly, no, right? So the main factor that you have to account in for is what your break even ACOS is before jumping into anything else, right? And from your break even ACOS, you can actually, and On the ranking video, on the ranking and how to rank, I will be talking more about. Even if you're going unprofitable, it should be a very conscious decision on how long you will remain unprofitable before you start getting some organic sales, and then you become profitable on those specific keywords or on that specific SKU. But most of the time, just putting on Amazon suggested bids just because you think that okay, this is what Amazon's suggesting, and not even calculating your own break-even ACOS versus your own conversion rate right now might be a recipe for disaster. And then it's your tacos, right? So your ACOS, your end campaign manager, your impressions, lots of metrics that are important to note, but might be vanity metrics as well, because uh, a lot of optimizations or tweaks with your campaigns ACOS, because I want to get to a certain point of ACOS while your TACOS is actually doing great and you're becoming profitable. It becomes it's a bit uh, it's a bit of a jargon if someone's telling me that I have my campaigns at 15% ACOS and I want to get it reduced to 10% ACOS, and I ask them what's your total account doing, and they tell me that it's actually profitable. I'm, let's say, at 10% TACOS. If your TACOS is performing very good, you know you do not need to get into extreme nitty-gritty of over optimizing your campaign, because that might work in the other way as well. So you might be wondering that no, a lot of my brand or my clients, they want a certain ACOS, and I have done this wonderful thing of getting my ACOS under X amount of percentage. So I'm the best marketer out there. Quite honestly, I will tell you, maybe you are, but I'm telling you from experience on Amazon and the data points that I look at, that I might be you might be the best, but I'm a bit better than you on this, right? Because I have spent a lot of time analyzing data points in a lot more detail than you probably have. And this is not boasting about myself, but talking generally, because I meet a lot of people as well. With that, if you're chasing those vanity metrics, you might run a low bid or a campaign and just get a good amount of ACOS. But end of the day, when you have a look at what's the damage that campaign has done, it hasn't ranked you anywhere. Your organic ranks are low. You're not getting any organic sales. Your ad to organic ratios is screwed up. Why? Because you just focused on ACOS inside campaign manager, and you did not think about the bigger picture for the brand. Or you are the brand owner, and you did not think about the bigger picture for your own self, which is even a very bad situation to be in the first place, right? So your TACOS matters the most in terms of your advertising spend. You do not need to focus on what's your campaign manager doing, although of course you need to focus on that as well. You do not need to be blindly spending your money, but I cannot lay more emphasis on this, that the total TACOS is very important. And a lot of our clients, even if they were saying initially that they want this X amount of ACOS, because a previous agency used to tell them, I used to tell them that talk about your total ROAS, talk about your spend versus how much your total sales have increased, because that's the metric that I care about. Your total profitability, your revenue growth, how much new to brand customers you're getting, how much repeat purchase rates you're getting. That's the metrics that you should care about as a brand, rather than how much what's the number on my campaign manager 1 month ago versus what's the number right now. So the question now, a very important part, because this is the most important part, I'll say. uh, Maybe the PPC teams, they undermine this situation at times, and when this problem comes in, believe me, your hard work, it swipes away. And I have been a culprit of this as well. I have misjudged inventory timing for brands that I have managed a few times in my career, and that has caused disaster. I want to be transparent, honestly. So if the ads work, can we ship it? Every principle that you're talking about, you're doubling the sales, but you're not keeping in your mind the lead time, time it takes for inbound shipments to Amazon, and how much time will it take, because your lead times are actually 3 months, 4 months, and you might get your next batch of inventory after 3 months. So your sales have doubled up, but you are now facing a very critical issue, and that is stock out, right? So you need to ensure that whenever you are making any changes to your campaigns, or whenever your sales are going up, rather than getting happy, or rather than getting into celebration mode, you should immediately, it should be triggered in your mind that what's my inventory looking like. You should never ever celebrate your wins before judging that what's the how my next 3 months should look like. If your next 6 months are sorted, if your next 3 months are sorted in terms of your inventory, now it's time to celebrate. Now it's time to, if you're a brand, now it's time to celebrate. If you're an agency owner, it's not the time to celebrate. but it's time to feel good about your performance. But if you're this is celebrating too soon that your revenue goes up, your margins might be pretty good as well. But if you go out of stock, uh, stock outs, number one, of course, your Amazon is like a money making machine. It's like it's increasing your it's increasing your brand value. And if it's empty, there's nothing on there, you're just you're sitting idle, and something which could have made you money while you were sleeping, although that's a very cliche word to say, that's a very cliche sentence to say, but nevertheless, that's how it does. Sales are coming in while you're sleeping as well. You've just deprived it of doing that. So you need to ensure that you are planning your stock outs early on. So I will tell you how a good campaign or how a good marketing strategy kills a good product as well. This is a very important thing to notice, by the way. So let's say your campaign works, your organic rank climbs, everything's going good, but nobody tells you about the inventory. So the reorder was planned based on what I was doing pre revenue spike or pre sales spike, and based on that I actually ordered my inventory, but now I'm facing with the stock out, so the listing goes unavailable. Ad this is Ads, actually you can shut off those ad spend. That's not a big problem. Shutting off those ad spend is of course not a big problem, but your rank collapsing is a big problem. And Amazon penalizes you if you go out of stock. I would rather say that if you're going close to out of stock, I would just rather pause my campaigns and increase my margins for some point of time until and unless I get my stock back. So I would rather have some inventory and a very lesser amount of sales rather than being completely out of stock on there. And once that inventory comes in, because you're faced with that out of stock time, maybe for a month, maybe for a few weeks, maybe for 2 months as well, I've seen. When the inventory comes back, and it takes some time to get back into that momentum. It takes some time because your competitors have gained more reviews, they've established themselves. Now it's a bit of a hassle to push yourself back in there. So it's very important to not go out of stock. So PPC is the demand valve. PPC is just you creating more demand for your product, but inventory is the tank. If your tank is not filled, even if you're creating more and more demand, your tank is empty now. There's nothing on your pipe. It's an empty pipe. There will be air bubbles. There will be problems. So if you're an Amazon brand manager, and I will say that because this is for the training team as well. You are an Amazon brand manager, so your job is not only to focus on marketing, is not only to focus on what's working good on clients' account. It's honestly to work on what's the inventory doing as well. How well can I focus on that inventory? And this is a video that might be going public, so I will not be talking a lot about the SOPs. But nevertheless, it's very important that you understand that you have to know your marketing side, you have to know your listing optimization side, you have to know your inventory side as well, and then you have to know what your competitors are doing. These are the very important four pillars to decide that how well you are doing in terms of marketing. So four checks before any campaign is touched. Which P is broken? Is it your product? Your product is not performing good. Your product in itself has got bad rating, bad reviews. No amount of pouring ad spend and can actually improve that. What's your price? If your price is pretty bad, you're not competing with your competitors. Rather, you are priced and egoistic is the right word, that my product is the best product, without proving in the market that your product is the best product. Or you're placing yourself in the wrong places. Let's say you're aqua fit, but you're placing yourself in insulated water bottles. So placement is also very important. And then promotion times, if it's uh, if it's a prime deal day going on and you're not putting any deals, quite honestly, it's at times the brands are very close to being out of stock and they do not put any deals. I'm okay with that, but you're not just putting any deals, you're not putting any promotions, you're not incentivizing your customers while your competitors are doing. That's how you can get sales taken away from you as well. Number second is another very important point is, even before you make any campaign changes, you have to know that if it's a huge catalog, even if it's not a huge catalog, even if it's just one single product, and if it's not performing well, you need to know if it's a star product quadrant is it lying in. Number third, and I'll say this is the most important, this is the second most important part, because the last part is the most important, what your break even cost is. Before running blindly campaigns that, okay, now my job is as a PPC manager to just bring in sales and that's it. My job is to bring in revenue, but you do not know what your break even cost is. And I actually met a client who was saying that he does not want to share with me his COGS. And I was telling him that me being a brand manager, I cannot work that way. So even if your COGS is so sacred for you and so confidential for you, and you want to say that my job is only to increase your revenue or to only make your marketing or only to make your campaign manager look good. You have to tell me what your break even ACOS is. Of course, it's the same. You can actually reverse source it, or you have to tell me what's your ideal tacos. And without being super conservative, that I tell you that my ideal ACOS is 5%, and now you have to give me sales on 20 ROAS because 20x ROAS, because that doesn't work. But you need to know what your break even ACOS is, and you need to make your decisions based on that. And then, of course, the last one, how many days of cover it has. You can run your marketing campaigns very good, but you do not have stock left on the back end, and that's how you can mess up everything that you have as well. So these are a few things that you need to take care of. Advertising or Amazon PPC, it does not create a demand for a bad product. And of course, if you're going out of stock, it cannot ship a product that is not there. So two very important lessons that I can take from here is your product should be good. You shouldn't avoid stock outs, and then you need to take care of you remain profitable. You get placed in front of right eyeballs, uh, and that's it. That's exactly how you win on that.